Hello and welcome to my full predictions video for tonight's NXT TakeOver 30 match card on the WWE Network. Let me just start out by saying this feels like one of the more unpredictable NXT takeovers in recent memory. Quite a lot of these matches I'm sort of umming and ahhing. I still haven't really decided who I'm going to predict. We'll see what falls out of my face hole, won't we? Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen, how confident you are in your picks. Do you think this is quite an unpredictable show? Or do you think all of these results are set in stone and I'm an idiot? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'm going to go through these roughly in order of priority, I guess, because the Wikipedia page is kind of all over the place. The main event is somewhere in the middle of the list and stuff, so I'm just going to go in rough order from sort of least important to most, but this isn't necessarily the order I think the matches will happen on the card. So I'm going to start with the pre-show match. I feel like that's very clearly the least important match on the card, even though it's a number one contender match for the tag team titles. I don't personally think the winners of this are going to win the tag team titles, and I also don't think it's very important because if it were, it'd be on the main show. So that match is Breezango versus Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Legado del Fantasma, who will obviously be represented by Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. I think I said his first name right, Joaquin. But obviously not the what's his name? Santos Escobar or whatever his name is, the Cruiserweight champion. It's going to be the other two. So it's a triple threat tag match to determine number one contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Right, so the champions are Imperium, who are pretty much cemented as heels, so I don't think it's going to be Legado del Fantasma, unless they're really keen to get 3 belts on those three. I don't think it's going to be them. Breezango, it's kind of a toss-up between those guys. I guess I'll go with Breezango because then maybe Legado del Fantasma can cost them the tag title match and that can continue the feud. So yeah, let's go with Breezango. But again, it's a toss-up. This whole card is basically a bit of a toss-up. The next match, it was announced on social media. It was made kind of last minute. And that doesn't bode well for it being a super important match. I think it'll be a good match, but I don't think it's going to be super important. Is Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. I'm looking forward to this match. I think it should be a lot of fun. I'm kind of torn, because NXT Finn Balor is... I mean, he's less untouchable than he was when he first went back, quote, down to NXT. Some people would argue that's not down at all. But... so he's less untouchable now than he was when he first re-arrived in NXT, I think is an accurate way to put it. But he's still a pretty big deal down there. I don't like that. I actually prefer NXT. A lot of people seem to main roster, quote unquote. So, I don't know. Timothy Thatcher, though, seems to be getting some big wins, being built up, I know he beat Matt Riddle and then Matt Riddle went to main, which I don't think is where Finn Balor's going, because he's just come back from main. I don't think he's got much desire to go back to main at the moment. I don't know. This is why it's a toss-up, because Finn Balor's, strong and wouldn't make Timothy Thatcher look weak by beating him. But at the same time, they seem to be putting quite a bit of stock in Timothy Thatcher right at this moment. He could even be the next challenger for the North American champion, whoever wins, assuming a face wins. I don't know. Right, let me think. I feel like I've got quite a heel-heavy kind of... I don't know how much purchase WWE Creative put into this, but I always feel like I try and balance faces and heels a little bit. I feel like we've got quite a heel-heavy show coming up, where I'm going to pick quite a lot of heels to win. So on the basis of that alone, I'm going to pick Finn Balor to eke out a victory in a very close contest that will really put Timothy Thatcher over. I'm not confident in that, though. I sort of 51% think it's going to be Timothy Thatcher, to be honest. But I'm going to pick Finn Balor because I want to balance out my predictions, and I feel like there is some semblance of that being taken into account in booking in WWE, so we'll go with that. Up next, I think I'm going to go with the vacant NXT North American Championship ladder match. This could open the show. A big spectacle match like this is quite a strong opener for pay-per-views and takeovers, so this could open the show. It's Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Johnny Gargano versus Velveteen Dream. Again, I really don't know who to pick. I was going to say, when I was watching this week's NXT, I was like, oh, it's definitely not Cameron Grimes. He's touched the title. That's the Cardinals in. I'm pretty sure all 5 of these touched the title during that Finn Balor Velveteen Dream match, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure, because I was like trying to keep count. I was like, has everyone touched that title? Who was it who stood tall at the end? I made a mental note of this and now I've forgotten. Was it Dream? I don't know, because I remember thinking just discount them, because if you stand tall on the go-home show, you don't win. So, I really don't remember. Right, so, Bronson Reed. Is he, like, that good or that over, really? I feel like they're trying to give him a bit of a push, but is he ready for that? I don't know. I really hope they don't put it on Velveteen Dream, because it's, aside from my personal thoughts, and it's a big risk. It's a big risk because that situation is not cleared up by any stretch. There's more to come on that, I'm pretty sure. So that would be a big risk for them. So I like to think they'd be smarter than to put it on Velveteen Dream right now. I know they're basically treating him like a heat magnet because obviously the wrestlers in the crowd will boo him. But, they've made a wise decision of at least bringing him back as a heel because I'm not sure anyone's going to be supporting him right now. But hashtag Fire Velveteen Dream was trending above hashtag NXT this Wednesday, I believe. So, eek. Maybe don't put your title on him. That's not good heat. That's bad heat. For obvious reasons. We're not going to get into that. Feel free in the comments if you must discuss it. Try and keep it respectful. But I really just... Whether it turns out he's guilty, innocent, he gets fired, he doesn't. I just think it's such a bad play to put the title on him right now. I think it's such a bad move. So I'm gonna try and eliminate him, and I'm eliminating Bronson Reed. I sort of want to eliminate Johnny Gargano, but they're getting a lot of screen time, they're getting a lot of push. They could easily put it back on Johnny and have him gloat about it. You know, this Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae storyline kind of feels like it needs to go somewhere. It needs a belt, but his argument at the moment is like one-on-one he's beating people, but when he's putting like silly triple threats and stuff like that, he's coming up short when he's put. So maybe he comes up short here and carries on down that. You know, he wants a one-on-one match. He could be the first challenger. I know I've already said Timothy Thatcher could be, but maybe he could be. You know, he could be like, look, it was a multi-man ladder match. Fight me one-on-one and you won't beat me, kind of thing. Maybe that can be his thing at the moment. By the way, I hope Johnny Gargano's even in this match. I've not seen any update that says he's out of it, but wow, what a bump he took on Wednesday. Good grief. I don't think I've ever seen anyone land as cleanly on top of their head since Stone Cold Steve Austin in that pile driver. I don't know how the only way Johnny Gargano got away with that is because he weighs a lot less than Austin did. That's all I can. There wasn't as much weight. He just got lucky. Like the angle just wasn't quite severe enough to do some serious damage. I don't think, and he doesn't quite weigh enough. Like he got lucky. Seriously, so I hope he's even in the match. But I don't think... I'm going to eliminate Johnny Gargano. I think that's a better story to tell. You can't beat me one-on-one, but you keep beating me with these stupid gimmick matches. I think that's... The conspiracy against the Garganos can keep going then. So it's Damian Priest or Cameron Grimes. The two top contenders I've come up with in my head have both been heels. Damian Priest is sort of a weird de facto babyface at the moment, for some reason. Not quite sure I'm behind that. But on that basis alone, I'm going to go with Priest. I feel like he can at least wrestle a bit like a face. Cameron Grimes is cemented as a heel right now. So to open up the challengers, I would say Damian Priest to win. Okay, next, I think we're going to go with the Women's Championship match next. Io Shirai and Dakota Kai, who's got Raquel Gonzalez at ringside. I honestly don't feel like Dakota Kai is the one to take the title off Io Shirai. I'm not confident in that because they seem pretty behind Dakota Kai. But I feel like it's either Candice LeRae or Mercedes Martinez. I feel like they're your two that are in contention to actually take the belt off Shirai. So on that basis, and on the basis that I do need babyface wins, I know I just picked Damian Priest and Finn Balor, so I've actually weighed it up the other way now. But I was skewing very heel. Like the two main event matches, I'm skewing heel, believe it or not. So we'll get to it. Don't worry, guys. Don't switch off. We'll get to it. Get to my reasoning. So I think a lot of the undercard needs to be won by faces, and I just don't feel like Dakota Kai is the woman to take this off Io Shirai. She could well do though. I don't personally feel like she's the right choice. Nothing particularly against Dakota Kai. I just don't think she's the right choice right at this minute. So yeah, I'm picking Io Shirai. Now, Adam Cole, baby, versus Pat McAfee. Is that how you say his name? McAfee. I've heard that said before. So, I'm picking the heel, you say? You think I'm picking Pat McAfee to beat Adam Cole because he's clearly the heel in this? Yeah, I saw a really interesting theory, which is that they're going to turn the Undisputed Era on Adam Cole. Not necessarily to align with McAfee, but just to turn Cole fully face and get a bit more legs out of Undisputed Era in NXT. Kyle O'Reilly's kind of been a bit bossy, a bit leadery at the moment, so he could be like the leader of the mutiny. And yeah, I think we could see that. I would not be... I'd still kind of be sat there a bit shocked watching it, but at the same time, I'd be like, hey, I saw the theory and I thought... And it's not like a spoiler. It's not someone said, oh, I've heard this is what's planned. It's not on... I've not seen it on dirt sheets. It might be on dirt sheets, but I've not seen it there. I've just seen someone on either Facebook or Twitter, I can't even remember where, say, what if they did this? And I thought, yeah, what if they did that? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, what do you gain from Adam Cole winning this? Like, what comes of that? Like, everything in wrestling happens for the next reason, doesn't it? Or it's supposed to. And NXT are quite good at that. Main roster, not always so good, but NXT are quite good at that. What do you get from Adam Cole just beating Pat McAfee straight up? I mean, a bit of momentum and the Undisputed Era kind of faces, but how well do they work as a big face faction and for how long? I feel like it's a really interesting way to go. You could have Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, come on. Like, that'd be fun. You could also have Adam Cole versus Roderick Strong. You could have either of them as the leader. I'd buy into Kyle more as the leader. I think he's more charismatic as a heel than Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong always feels a bit forced as a heel to me. A bit like he's playing heel instead of he is a heel, you know, kind of thing. So, yeah, I would go with Kyle O'Reilly, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm actually going to pick Pat McAfee to beat Adam Cole, baby. I feel like Adam Cole's going to be, like, humiliating him somehow. You know, like, really dominating the match. Pat McAfee can get a bit of physical dominance in, but I think it'll break down and it'll be Adam Cole sort of schooling him, like, look, I'm the wrestler here. You know, I really hope that's the way they go. There's two ways to go with this. The way I've just been talking about, and eventually Undisputed Era turn on Cole. Maybe he nearly gets caught and they're like, we've had enough of this. Like, you keep messing up recently. You've lost the title. You know, you've got us into this situation with a footballer. Like, what's that all about? Like, what are we even doing now? And they turn on him. Do you either do that or you do, like, a proper take him to school, not a squash match, but a really one-sided, like, you can't hang with me kind of match. They're the only two that benefit anyone, and I feel like the first option benefits people more for Undisputed Era to turn on. It gives us more storyline coming out. So yeah, I'm going to go with Pat why do I struggle with his name so much? McAfee to win. I think that's the pick. So let me know in the comments what you think of that pick. That might be a bit controversial. And then the main event, and again, I've been umming and ahhing about this. Is it too soon to take the title off Keith Lee? Answer, yes. Is it too soon to beat Karrion Kross? Yeah, kinda. Like, kind of is. I don't know. I feel like you have to do the switch. There's a potential spoiler floating out there on the internet, by the way, guys. If you know about it, that's fine. If you want to look it up, that's fine. I'm not going to discuss it here. I would prefer people don't discuss it in the comments either, because this is like... The point of this isn't like a spoilers video. It's my personal speculation, and I welcome your personal speculation. I will say... The spoiler didn't particularly sway me. I don't think it's a... How do I word this? I don't think it's as solid a spoiler as some people think. To the extent that I feel like in this day and age, sometimes WWE sort of quote-unquote accidentally leak spoilers to lead people down the wrong path. So I'm a bit cynical these days with like leaks. I'm like, that doesn't happen in WWE. Come on. You know, they're a waterproof ship. They're a what's the expression? It's not that. But you know what I mean. They're a tight-run ship, I think is the expression. You know, it's unlikely they're going to make a big goof. Anyway, if you want to know what the spoiler is, go look it up. That's fine. But I'm not really taking that into account. I was already leaning this way. It hasn't swayed me one way or the other, particularly the spoiler. I think Karrion Kross is going to win. I do think it's unfortunate that Keith Lee's had a really short title reign. He did get to make history as the first double champ, the first champ. But maybe they can do like a story about how, hey, you shouldn't have given up that North American title, eh? You know, kind of, because now you got nothing. I don't know. It's an interesting show. I'm not confident in that pick. I'm not confident in the Adam Cole pick, particularly. Like, they could go either way. Like, the two ways I laid out, they could go either way. I could see them putting the women's title on Dakota Kai. Like I say, I could see them keeping the NXT title on Keith Lee. I could see them putting the North American Championship on pretty much anyone in that match, including Velveteen Dream, because since when have WWE been the kings of good taste and, you know, smart PR decisions with booking? Like, you know, they've not always been that great, have they? Pretty much anyone could win the triple threat on the pre-show, and I think I picked Balor to beat Thatcher, but you know what? No, let me change that pick, because I've got 2 and 2. I'm going to pick... I instinctively want to lean towards Timothy Thatcher, so I'm going to regret this, because now Finn Balor's going to win. But I'm going to pick Timothy Thatcher, so to win that opening match. But again, it's sort of 51-49. I could easily see Finn Balor picking up that win as well. Whew! So, with that in mind, let me just do a quick recap of my predictions. I predict on the pre-show the triple threat tag team match to be won by Breezango. Then I picked, eventually, Timothy Thatcher to beat Finn Balor in their match. The ladder match, I picked Damian Priest to win the NXT North American Championship. The Women's Championship match, I picked Io Shirai to retain. The Adam Cole Pat McAfee match, I picked Pat McAfee, believe it or not. And the NXT Championship match, I'm picking Karrion Kross to defeat Keith Lee and win the title. So let me know in the comments what you agree with, what you disagree with, and your reasons as well. Like, if you've got some solid sounding reasoning, preferably without including talk of spoilers and things heard in dirt sheets and stuff like that. I prefer to reason this out myself. Then let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Absolutely. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new here, and share with your friends if you think they would enjoy and would like to get in on the conversation. Don't forget as well to check out the description for my other channels, my social media, and my Patreon, where you can support me for just $1 per calendar month. Just over 10% of the price of the WWE Network. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I will see you next time.